Awuchanga Pukungwok Awe Getchatewo.
Je suis Eric Christian Kwam. J'aime manipulation.
Ensemble, main dans la main pour préserver l'unité de notre cher et beau pays, le Cameroun.
C'est un message de Royal FM, la radio des auditeurs.
Subscribe to Maso Gold. Maso Gold, conceived for the total fulfillment of all and sundry.
The 2PM Newscast
with ABEL, BELA, SAMARI.
Good afternoon, blessed people. It is Tuesday, June the 20th, 2023. It is the 2 p.m. It is Royal Afternoon Edition. Take you to our list of it. "19 days to the July Naira food draw ceremony, 9 days to the end of registration and contribution into the Mutual Assistance and Solidarity MASO. How beneficial has MASO been for mutualists?"
It helped me to defend the family responsibility that I had in Boya. Now at least I'm fresh.
Money helps me to add more goods in my shop. So for this act number 3, I'm praying God to win more than what I won before.
Cameroon has been appreciated as one of the countries that exports quality cocoa beans. How will such appreciation help the Cameroon cocoa sector? Edmond Kwate, renowned economist, talked to us in this edition of our 2 p.m. newscast. And in sport, the Court of Arbitration for Sport has rejected Cameroon's appeal on the African Cup of Nations under 23. Evans William Jobati will be joining me in the studio with our Tuesday Sport 5 when we have details of this and more. Good afternoon once again. My name is ABEL BELA SAMARI. We will open our news to talk about the Mutual Assistance and Solidarity MASO.
MASO, the special page in the news.
I'm talking about the Mutual Assistance and Solidarity MASO to tell you that the Mutual Assistance and Solidarity MASO Act 3 offers the opportunity to anyone who wishes to opt for financial assistance to either start up or boost their businesses, complete their construction projects, and why not assure the school resumption of their children in the upcoming academic year 2023-2024. With just 9 days left to run up with registration and contribution into the Mutual Assistance and Solidarity MASO, Eratu Sunduye visited the Mesasi Renapo Finance SA agency here in Yaoundé to get the ambience that reigns there and now reports.
With just 9 days left for all approved Finance SA agencies and affiliates to close their doors and proceed with the gathering of all statistics and mutualists who have thus far fulfilled with their own responsibilities ahead of the D-Day, the Mesasi agency has been a perfect example as it has employed new ways to satisfy their clients and employs subscribers. Jessica is in charge of the customer service of the said agency.
Most our mutualists are trying to finish all their contributions. Many as well coming to take their pre-identification file, but I believe that a lot of them will start playing and the amount will be increasing.
Being a sole aim of African solidarity with taking someone from spot zero to elevate them to a meaningful standard, Jessica attests that many come to her who wishes to either start or boost their businesses.
Sports complex here in Yaoundé on July the 9th, 2023. Beneficiaries of MASO Act 2 have been testifying of their exploits with the finances they obtained last year. Get them speak in the following Vox Pop compiled for us by our own Eratu Sunduye.
I won 750,000. I use the money to do many things in my shop. You can see my shop. There's much goods. Even the other one there also. I have 2 shops. The money helps me to add more goods in my shop. When I won this money, my family, everybody, we are very happy. So for this act number 3, I'm praying God to win more than what I won before. So I'm very happy to be a member of MASO.
J'ai été bénéficiaire de 500 000.
I benefited 500,000 francs CFA in MASO Act 2. The money permitted me to buy my needs at a whole price. I bought television sets, fans, and dozens of canned drinks.
At the time that I won that money, at the time that I was having a problem with my children, I left to Boya for coming here. Because of the responsibility of the children, the store was collapsing. So when I take the money, it helped me to boost the store, to defend the family responsibility that I had in Boya. The very big difference now. The living of my children, they are living there fine in Boya. I'm also living here. If you see my structure, look me, you know that I've changed. But the weather was dark and pale a bit. Now at least I'm fresh, that you can know that something is progressing.
Everybody to try and do everything possible to come in and register in MASO. It's not only that if you don't win a car or a house, that's not all the benefits. You have other benefits like health insurance and so on. So that's not all about MASO. Everybody to try and put in the effort to be a member of MASO.
And still to talk about the mutual assistance and solidarity, MASO, joining me in the studio is our own Finwe Crispin. Good afternoon to you, Crispin.
Good afternoon, ABEL, BELA, SAMARI.
The mutual assistance and solidarity MASO is not only out to assist in mutualists at the economic level, but also at the health level through the Mahmoud Hospital complex. The hospital has as aim to treat MASO mutualists at a reduction cost of 35%. But what are the steps to follow in order to benefit these medical services from the Mutual Assistance and Solidarity Mahmoud Hospital complex?
The first step is to be a mutualist who is up to date with his or her contribution. In case of any health issues, the mutualist will have to head directly to the Mahmoud Hospital complex alongside MASO identification form that will serve as proof that you are a mutualist. Moreover, a reduction of 35% is carried out on the services received at the hospital, notably hospital book, consultation, tests, radiology, and scanning. Added to these, the hospitalization fee, treatment on the spot, and other medications. It is worth mentioning that these advantages is not limited only to the mutualists, but up to 10 persons, that it may be family members, can benefit from medical services behind the mutualists. The names of those to benefit is usually given during registration procedures into the MASO, and all the names will be noted in the identification form. In case of sickness, the patient will have to use the mutualist identification form in order to benefit from the reduction.
MASO, that was the special page in the news.
And if you are just joining us, you are listening to Royal Afternoon Edition, the 2 p.m. newscast, coming to you from Royal 88.4 FM. And still to come in the course of this newscast, we'll talk economic.
If we've succeeded in standardizing the quality of our cocoa, and this is being admitted, it means we're not going to have the problem of price fluctuation again in the international market with our cocoa.
We take you to our parliamentary news in this edition to say Bill number 2023/PGL/AN governing the railway sector in Cameroon has been scrutinized by the National Assembly Trade and Production Committee. That was on Monday, June the 19th, 2023 at 10 a.m. The deliberation of the committee were led by its president, Honorable Mbakam Choga. The bill was presented and defended by the Minister of Transport, Jean-Enes Messinangale Bibihe. At 3 p.m., the Finance and Budget Committee of the National Assembly adopted the report of Bill number 2031/PGL/AN governing guarantee and debts by public entities enjoying the Treasury preferential right. Today at 9 a.m., a capacity building seminar for members of the National Assembly, members of the Committee on Finance and the Budget, and their later technical support staff took place today at the National Assembly. The same as another capacity building workshop for members of the National Assembly on child online protection equally takes place, detailed in a subsequent edition of our newscast. The Secretary General at the Social Democratic Front, we are into politics. The SDF party, Jomga Adeline, has announced an upcoming meeting for the National Executive Committee. The information is contained in the press release. This signed on the June the 16th here in Yaoundé. The information comes less than 1 month after the committee held a meeting in Yaoundé, and also less than a week after the loss of its party chairman Nijon Fundi. Following the announcement of the ordinary next meeting come June the 24th, stakes are high on the next twist of the party, that is the Social Democratic Front. We talk economy to say a Chadian delegation led by the country's Minister of State, Secretary General at the presidency, Dr. Gali Kote Ngata, was received at the Unity Palace Monday, dispatched by the Jaminan President Mohamed Idris Deby Itno with a sealed message to his Cameroonian counterpart, President Paul Biya. The special envoy was received in audience by the head of state, President Paul Biya. He had a constructive and fruitful exchange with the head of state, President Paul Biya, based on the relationship that exists between Cameroon and the Republic of Chad. And if one of the topics of discussion was in line with the common concern to avoid any misunderstanding over the Chad oil pipeline issue, the geostrategist, Mr. Lemken Richard, give his reading on the microphone of our reporter, Jementa.
The reception of the Secretary General at the presidency of Chad tells us that Cameroon diplomacy is at work. Last week we found that the Chadian ambassador, who was called back home, has returned to Yaoundé and was received at the military palace by the head of state. And that marked the back to normalcy of relationship between Cameroon and Chad. And this time around, if the Secretary General at the presidency is back in Yaoundé, it simply means that the problems that were affecting the two countries, particularly the issue of the Savannah oil, the company that is claimed to have bought some shares that Chad claimed to have bought in Kotko, will simply say that President Biya is using a lot of diplomacy to achieve consistency, to achieve peace, to achieve stability within the management of Kotko. I think so far Savannah oil is gradually being perceived this time around as a company that is not fictitious. But at the beginning, there seems to be having a lot of conflict ideas, conflict in the concept of the company, conflict within the Chadian minds, that if some shares of Kotko were dropped, it was left for Chad to know how to manage it and not Cameroon. But I think thanks to the intervention of the head of state, we have been able to have things move smoothly.
We stay in economy, like I said in one of our lead stories. Cameroon has been admitted into the inner circle of country that exports prime quality cocoa. This was after a panel of 12 experts discussion meeting that took place in Madagascar, on which producing countries were eligible for the prime quality cocoa qualification. In this regard, Christian Mando interviewed an economist in the person of Edmond Kwate, who gives the stakes and advantages of this opportunity to the Cameroonian cocoa sector.
First of all, Cameroon represents 6% of cocoa exported from Africa, because Africa is 73% of cocoa exportation in the world. That the first country is Ivory Coast, second country is Ghana, the third country is Nigeria, and then the fourth country is Cameroon. So we are 6%. I think Nigeria too is 6%, and Ghana and Ivory Coast, they are sharing the rest. So the fact that Cameroon has been admitted as a country exporting fine cocoa, I think it's an advantage. Then it gives us the possibility to negotiate a price in the international market. Because one of the problems we got in the international market is that most of the time, if the cocoa is of very poor quality, if the cocoa is not of very good quality, then they will reduce the price. And most of the time, they use this as an argument in the international market to reduce the price of the cocoa and not pay at a very good price. So they will say, oh no, this cocoa is very poor quality. So if we've succeeded in standardizing the quality of our cocoa, and this is being admitted, it means we're not going to have the problem of price fluctuation again in the international market with our cocoa. It means we have a standard price, and that will be purchased accordingly. So this is the advantage. It means our farmers producing cocoa, they're not going to suffer the problem of price reduction, price fluctuation in the international market in the future.
Cameroon today joined the rest of the world to celebrate World Refugees Day, designated by the United Nations. It seeks to honor refugees around the globe and celebrate the strategy and encourage people who have been forced to flee their home country to escape conflict or persecution. Worth mentioning that Cameroon is host to thousands of refugees from neighboring countries like Nigeria, the Central African Republic, Chad, and many more. We talk health in this edition to say the Minister of Public Health, Dr. Madaola Malachi, has announced on June the 15th the close down of insolatory arbitration in some training schools for health personnel, nurses, and midwives. It was after the 24th session of the Governing Council under the theme Harmonizing and Improving the Quality of Teaching that he promises to wage war on all other bad practices that plague the training of medical and health personnel in Cameroon. Our own student journalist on internship here at the radio, Bridget cornered some Cameroonians on what they think about the minister's decision. She compiled her view in the following vox pop.
No, I think the unsanitary hospital don't have to close because they too, in one way or the other, help the population. But I think if it's possible, they can just take corrective measures to force the unsanitary hospital to better their hygienic condition, because the unsanitary condition can affect patients' health negatively too.
Patient cannot come to be cured and instead get affected. So for me, the hospital needs to be closed up for patients to be well cured.
Hospitals and health centers should not be closed up. Instead, it should be clean from time to time to help treat our people.
We'll talk education and especially holidays to say that holidays are here and children are now spending most of their time in the house in company of different types of foods, and as they have access to all sorts of foods, these kids consume in a disorderly manner what can most of the time harm their health condition. These as parents do not usually master how to feed their children. In line with this, our own Christian Mando corner, a nutritionist in the person of Sangu, who now explain how parents should take care of their children when it comes to feeding during this holiday period.
The nutritionist Sangu Shaibu starts by advising parents on how to clean their children's stomach as this holiday starts.
Parents should take care of them. First of all, to take the preventive drugs to the parasite, to give anti-parasite drugs to the parasite of those children before the starting of the holiday at home.
Eating in an organized manner is important for kids' health. For this reason, the experts advise the parents to feed their children during this long break period as such.
Parents should advise the child to eat fruit and vegetables, at least 80% of fruit and vegetables before eating other foods, because the fruit and vegetables are rich in nutrients and minerals that can prepare the stomach to receive the upcoming foods that are dense in starch as to avoid indigestion to those children.
Most of the times, these children copy parents' behavior who eat everything and at any time, mixing any type of food. The nutritionists condemn this behavior.
Parents should take care of their children such as themselves, because eating habit of the parent can determine the health state of the children. Normally, in 1 week, they should try to make a variety of foods, because the mixture of foods anyhow can make children to be frustrated.
Worth noting that feeding well helps keep the body system in good health.
Christe Solange Mando in that report. We talk diplomacy in this edition of our 2 p.m. newscast to say a French diplomat, Jean-Marc Beton, has been announced in Cameroon from June the 27th to Saturday, July the 1st, 2023. Part of his visit is being attributed to the fight against for the rights of gay persons in the country. He has even solicited a request an audience with the Minister of External Relations, BELA. Now, in regard with government action to eradicate ills that lead to the country's chaos, our reporter Jementa corners some political scientists to analyze this French diplomat's visit to the country.
The working visit announced by Jean-Marc Beton has been perceived by by some political scientists and legal minds as a violation to Cameroon's law. Dr. Baminjo Herman is a political scientist.
He's just coming to see how the Cameroon can actually start treating the homosexuals the same. You know, homosexuality, we call it gay and lesbianism, is not the culture of Africans. When you look at the case of Cameroon, Cameroon doesn't accept that. The constitution doesn't accept that. Anybody who practices that in Cameroon, it's supposed to be in prison. It's supposed to be seen to be illegal in Cameroon. So I think that he's coming to Cameroon.
According to some political scientists, such walking visit was supposed to be banned by the Cameroonian government.
African countries are still under colonialism, although they want to call it neo-colonialism. A whole country like France will dispatch a minister to come and defend rights of lesbians and homosexuals. That is unheard of. And if we are a country which is so serious, we should not entertain that. Honestly, we should not entertain it.
And to find out what does the penal code sees in line with the right of same-sex relationship, the legal mind Lancelot Labris brings out this emphasis.
If the French ambassador in charge of gays and lesbians is coming to visit in Cameroon, I think the fundamental law of this land, as well as the criminal procedure code and the penal code, punishes this type of act or this type of relationship. He was supposed to deny this visit and be stopped immediately. He think of coming to Cameroon. Cameroon is a sovereign state. The sovereignty of the country is supposed to be manifested when this type of thing happens.
The visit of the French ambassador in charge of rights of same-sex relations is therefore slated on Tuesday, 27th of June, 2023 in Yaoundé.
We'll take you out of the country. First up in Nigeria, where Nigeria President Bola Tinubu has appointed Emiri Emmanuel Ikuchukwu Ongola from Enugu State as the new chief of naval staff, while Major General Christopher Ngwabi Musa from Sokoto has been appointed as the new chief of defense staff. Tinubu has made the changes in Nigerian defense forces, Army, the Navy and Air Forces on Monday, June the 19th, 2023. This as he made a promise during his inaugural speech that is out to fight against insecurity in Nigeria. We still stay in Nigeria to say police in Nigeria are calling on victims of an internet prank attackers to come forward and report him for the distress he has caused many of Nigerians. Trinity Guy film and upload sketch onto social media for his thousands of viewers. Some of these shows him pretending to be shot dead to shock the suspected passerby. We still stay out of Cameroon to say as Mali awaits the results of Sunday's referendum on a new constitution, the chairman of Modeli Mali Observation Mission gives on Monday, June the 19th, 2023, says an overview of the voting process. The information contained is out and shows that voters in the northern part of Mali, especially in the Kada region, did not turn out during the election. Dr. Ibrahim Sanko says there were no votes in this region, especially in the Kada region in northern Mali. We'll take you still out of the country to say the U.S. Department has called on an orderly and responsible withdrawal of UN peacekeeping mission in Mali, known as the MINUSA, following Bamako's call for its departure without delay. And we'll still tell you out of the country to say this time in New Zealand, where 4 people have been injured after a man allegedly attacked a dinner parlor in the Chinese restaurant, precisely in the town of Unlock. According to reports given, 3 persons are in the hospital as they receive treatment following this attack. The foreign page was compiled for us by our students journalists on internship: Mando Erika, Bate Bridget, BELA Maris, Aisha Muhammadu, and Awasiri Jaren. We take you to our sports page. Joining me in the studio is Evans William Jobati. Good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon, ABEL, SAMARI.
Yes, we begin this time with where the former MMA fighter Francis Ngannou and president of the Professional Fighting League of Africa cross paths with current MMA champion Joe Jones.
The two men met at a fighting night in the USA where they both exchanged words in an intense atmosphere. It is important to note that the Cameroonian from Batie will in 2024 debut at the helm of the Professional Fighting League (PFL), where he will be the organizer of competitions as well as the recruiter of new talent. But as of now, nothing is being said in relation to their possible clash. Let us take a minute to listen to some of their exchanges in this excerpt.
I have to get to a good enough size to kick your ass. I have to get a good enough size to kick my ass. Yes. That took you 3 years. I did. That's good, Have you been wrestling?
And we'll take you this time, Williams, to talk about basketball, where a list of 14 pre-selected players have been made public ahead of the AfroCan that will take place in Angola.
The FIBA AfroCan in Angola will see Cameroon's intermediate national team compete in Group D with DR Congo and Mozambique this year, as from July 8 to 16. They are Anthony Nguafang, Astrid Boya, Arnold Komo, Brice Eyanga, Cedric Changa, Cedric Lial, Engelbert Belek, Etienne Tamtong, James Amasok, Jean-Paul Mwanjo, Kevin Nyembek, Luis Garansu, Rostan Dong, and Valentin Lele. Coach Francis Eyenge, who brilliantly qualified the team, has been replaced with Luis Marie Chungi due to other functions which he has been called up for. It should be noted that Coach Chungi was also present during the qualifications of the team, while the team as the new head coach, assisted by Mambi, who is the current coach of Biak Yaoundé basketball team.
We'll take you to talk football, and in football, we say Cameroon has officially been ruled out of the Under-23 African Cup of Nations that will take place in Morocco. This decision was released by the Court of Arbitration for Sport.
Yes, ABEL, the file treated urgently at the Court of Arbitration for Sport, CAS, decided that Gabon's Under-23 football team were the ones who were legit to participate in the upcoming AFCON in Morocco. The Lausanne court judged the appeal under Article R37 of the Code of Arbitration in Sport behind closed doors, tabling the request for provisional measures filed on June 12, 2023 by the Cameroonian Football Federation in the procedure CAS 2023-A/9717. Cameroon Football Federation versus Gabonese football is rejected. With reference to that, we cornered a sports analyst in the name of Biwa Brian who spoke in relation to that.
The court's decision to let Gabon go in for the under-23 AFCON instead of the intermediate Lions is a perfect choice. I was personally against the fact that Cameroon was going to qualify for that competition because of paperwork or because they fight in a complaint. Football is played on the field, it is not played on paper. So I don't see why Gabon should qualify for a competition and then the Cameroon FA should rather go in behind just because probably they use a player who had forged his age and then they will file in a complaint so that the intermediate Lions will qualify. That goes a long way to prove that Cameroon is not very good at the field but rather good in paperwork. It speaks a lot of bad things for Cameroon football, for football in Cameroon, because I think it's something they should have let go instead of going to court, instead of taking the issue to. As it stands currently, Gabon is even more prepared than Cameroon because psychologically they already knew that they earned the qualification. While Cameroon, I don't think they were really that prepared because already they were eliminated. It's just after some while that the FA decided to file a complaint. So to me, it is a good decision, and personally, I think Gabon deserves the qualification spot.
And from that sports story, let's welcome Florent Ngoyam, who is here with a summary of this newscast in the French language. Good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon, ABEL. Masso Acte 3, plus que 19 jours avant la tenue de la cérémonie du tirage au sort, prévue le 9 juillet prochain au Palais Polyvalent des Sports de Yaoundé. Et au-delà des lots redistribuables, la mutuelle d'assistance et de solidarité offre à ses mutualistes à jour de leurs cotisations de nombreux avantages, à l'instar de 35% de réduction sur les soins médicaux effectués au complexe hospitalier La Mamu. Diplomatie, l'on annonce dans les tout prochains jours à Yaoundé l'arrivée de l'ambassadeur français des droits des personnes homosexuelles et assimilées. Jean-Marc Berton, puisqu'il s'agit de lui, sollicite une audience auprès du ministre camerounais des Relations extérieures pour discuter de la situation des personnes LGBT et les dispositions juridiques en la matière. Des événements qui surviennent au lendemain de la mise en garde du CNC aux médias étrangers quant au contenu ayant trait à la promotion de l'homosexualité. À l'étranger, Mali, les résultats du référendum organisé dimanche sur le projet du nouveau institution proposé par les autorités de transition sont attendus. La mission d'observation des élections maliennes a annoncé une estimation de 28% de participation et une longue liste d'incidents sécuritaires empêchant la tenue du vote dans plusieurs parties du pays. Et enfin, sport basketball, le Cameroun est désormais fixé sur ses adversaires de poule de l'Afro-CAN Angola 2023. Il s'agit du Mozambique et de la République démocratique du Congo. La compétition pour sa part se tiendra du 8 au 16 juillet prochain.
It is with that SAMARI in the French language that we wrap up this edition of our 2 p.m. newscast. The team keeping you company this afternoon. We have Solomon Sana, our sound engineer, plus our copyright clerk, Jean-Marie Otu, our video editor on our Facebook page, stroke our YouTube page, Ria FM Cameroon. The news was produced by Eratus Nduye, news edited by Gementa, coordinated by Director General Jean-Paul Antala. General supervision was ensured by Reverend Pastor Bisai Emmanuel Noy. For presentation and editorial coaching, my name is ABEL, BELA SAMARI, and sitting next to me is Raisa Parker with the second part of Fresh Air, where you are going to have a patch pratique, plenty of music. Second topic. Good afternoon to you, Raisa.
Good afternoon, c'est exact.
I will sit myself for you listeners. Don't move a muzzle. Stay blessed in the company of Royal 88.4 FM.
Ensemble, oui, la main dans la main.
Pokeya Raïssa Moko, journaliste Royal FM, Go Singwag Cameroun.